name is Simi Drey, and welcome to a brand new episode of Life on the Muvmnt Pod with moi, Simi Drey. Today, we have a very special guest with us. Our guest has seen the darkest side of humanity. But despite this, he has emerged as a beacon of light and hope for others. Our guest today is Drey Adelu, who is a survivor of human trafficking. Drey, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Simi, for having me. Thank you.
Yes, and you have a very powerful story to tell because, believe it or not, some people don't even think or believe that human trafficking exists, that modern day slavery is still a thing. But you're here with us today to tell your story, and I thank you so much for that. But before we dive into it, so tell us about, your life growing up and your family. You were born into a family of 8 children?
Okay, so I was born into a family of 8 children, and my dad was a pastor when he was alive, and my mom also was a pastor wife, and me, I was a youth president, so I was your more get inside kind of person. I was not the ghetto kind of person.
You're a good boy.
Yeah, I was just a good boy. I was daddy's pet, so... And I'm that type that likes to do things that daddy says or what mommy says or uncle or brother says. So, but life goes on, and then everybody departed from papa and mommy. Everybody went to the city, and I was just still with papa doing ministry, and that's it. And we went to school. After school days, everybody had to leave grandpa. We now call papa grandpa because family now came, friends now came, business now came, and that was just literally me.
Yes. What did you study in school?
Oh, I studied civil engineering in L.I.F.E Polytechnic, L.I.F.E.
Okay, and then did you end up practicing this?
No, I didn't end up practicing civil engineering because when I graduated, I was actually not looking at, I was not seeing a physical job because what I have them is some persons building their houses for like 5 years, 10 years because of their income, right? So me, I was looking for what I can use to at least help myself and help people around me, which are my younger ones and all that. So I had to do my own business, which was laundry and dry cleaning that I was doing before we finally jackpot to him. We jackpot into.
Yes. So what made you decide to do laundering and dry cleaning?
Okay, so I just want a daily income that I can be able to take care of myself because I hate it when you tell somebody, please, can you give me 100 naira? And the person tells you, I don't have. Let's wait in month end till they pay me salary. Me, I actually do not like salary job. So I want something that will be coming on a daily basis, So, and laundry is one of the business that, at least worst day scenario, at least you get 1,000 that you used to take. Worst day scenario. So that's why I went into laundry and dry cleaning business.
Fair enough. So it's very lucrative.
Yeah, very lucrative, 100%.
So for anybody who wants to set up a business.
Yeah, you can do laundry and dry cleaning, but don't burn somebody's clothes. So it's very dangerous.
Did you ever burn someone's clothes?
No, I only have challenge of misplacing somebody's clothes. So the person bought his clothes. I didn't know. I think the person came from Italy, and he gave me the suit to dry clean. After dry cleaning it, I misplaced the trousers. This kind of suit that has different trousers and different show. And I just mistake the trouser. And the guy just told me, do you know how much I bought this? This is 150 euro. I was like, how much is that in Nigeria? And it was tough for me. So the guy was just making trouble, took me to police station. Okay, you have to provide the trousers. And finally, I didn't know I packed it with somebody's clothes. And the person just returned it that I didn't know, this is not my trousers. It's even bigger than me. I said, oh, thank you. I've been looking for this trouser. And lucky me, I just gave it to you, and that was how the case just died. So
thank goodness. So the police didn't arrest you or anything?
No, the police just gave me 1 month to go and look for it because they've seen that kind of case that sometimes can just be mishandling. Maybe when I was ironing or when I was packing and all that. So they were aware, and they just told me, don't worry, 1 month time. If you did not see it, you can come. We'll know what to do about it. So that was it.
Okay, all right. So the police were being very understanding.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've told us about your parents, your relationship with your parents. You had a very good relationship with your parents. What about with your siblings? How close were you?
Okay, so my siblings, I only had 4 that was staying with us. The other ones had to leave home as early as 1995. So we only 3 before that was remaining. So we were just relating on landline then. From landline to letter, he sent text, what's it called, letter from Lagos to the village and all that. And my siblings are nice persons, are people I can't trade them for anything. They are just the best.
Yeah.
If I want to come back to the world again, I would prefer to come through them because they're just the best. Trust me. Trust me. You don't have an idea, but trust me, they're just the best because when you are down, they can come up and look at you and tell you, what's wrong with you? Are you the only person? No, pick it up. Okay, what do you need? Let me help you out. And that's what every man, every young person needs to grow to become who they really want to be.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you have a very amazing family, a very supportive family. You had a successful business. So who was it that made you decide to leave the country, and what exactly did they say to make it seem like something you wanted to do?
Okay, so when I was doing my laundry and dry cleaning, okay, I have this customer that normally patronizes me, and when he come, he normally gives me the change. Like if I dry clean for him, he can ask me like how much. I'll say like 2,000. He will just put his hand in his pocket, count like 5K, and give to me. On my own, is somebody that I used to pray that, oh God, when will this man come? This man did not come this week. Wow, when will he come? Okay, he will come next week because I know he's going to dash me chin. That is how it is in our business. So if he comes, when I dry clean for him, I used to see Italian sticker on his suit or on his native attires like that. So from my own side, I already know that this person travels from the tag. So there was a day he now asked me, how much are you even washing my clothes? And I said, the long sleeve is 100 naira. He said, sir. I said, no, the long sleeve is 150. He said, sir. He said, he was just trying to know. And I said, it's 150. And I said, okay, that 150 is too small now. Don't you think it's too small? I said, that's what we are watching. Me, I was even scared, thinking that he's angry that I'm watching for him 150. Meanwhile, at that time, truth be told, I was watching for other people 100 naira. So he was like, in Europe, where he's coming from, that one cloth that I'm watching 150 here is 7 euro there. And euro as at that time was 432 naira. So on my own brain, I just times, as a businessman, sharply, I just times 432 times 7. It gave me like 2,000 plus. I was like, oh, so it means that if I wash one clothes 150, I'm going to get 2,000 plus. So if I wash 7, that's 2 times 7, that's 14. Okay, so my mind was now opening. So he was like, okay, you know what? Don't worry, I'm going to help you. That if I can raise 300,000 naira, that I should not worry. That he sees me that I'm a very hardworking person that is willing to assist me. Like I said, being that he was my favorite customer, I just picked everything, and he told me that I should not tell anybody. I should not even tell anybody that he wants to help me, that he don't want any family or any person to be thinking, okay, he wants to, he's being generous to me, that he just want to help me on code. And I said, okay. So when I got home, I did not even tell my father, I didn't tell my mom, I didn't tell my friend, I didn't tell anybody, even my neighbor. I just told only one of my sis that, I met somebody to do. The person said I should not tell anybody, but you're my big sis, and I just need to tell you in case. And I said, okay. So I collected the thrift I was doing, the money in my account, I collected everything. So unlike me, if I want to do something, if you tell me 300, I just have to do extra, maybe like 500 in case of emergency. I don't want to see, okay, you have problems. So I had to collect everything that I had, my thrift. I didn't even pay because I had 2 staffs that were working with me. I didn't pay them that much because I want to travel. So I gathered their salary and everything, and I gave it to him, 300K. And it was like, that was after 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, when I gave him the money, it was like, okay, be coming. I said, now? He said, yes. I said, I didn't know that I have to move immediately. He said, no, because you are ready. So when you are ready, I am ready. So I was not the one begging him that, sir, can we not do it tomorrow? Because it's already late this night. So, okay, if you say tomorrow, it's fine. So he now directed me to a place where I would board the bus from a park in Benin City. So I went there the next morning, and we moved from Benin City to Sokoto. So Benin City to Sokoto took me like 2 days before I got to Sokoto. So when we go to Sokoto, welcome to Sokoto, there's that, every state has welcome to each state. So when we get to Sokoto, they ask all of us to come down from the bus, and I came down. The immigration were asking us where are we going to. Although he has already told us that we are going to Sokoto, so I told them I was going to Sokoto, and they said no. That the way I'm dressed, I look as if I look like somebody that was going out of the country. I said no. So they asked us to step aside. So when we step aside, they asked us to pull our clothes. We pulled our clothes. They asked us to bend down. They naked us like everybody. They were not searching us. So right there, my phone was still with me. I had to send him message that, sir, this is where we are now. That the immigration officers are actually searching us and they are pulling off our clothes. He now replied immediately, okay, I'll meet you in 3 minutes. So in less than 3 minutes, somebody just called from that immigration office. Who is Jerry? Who is Jerry? I was like, I'm the one. So he looked at his phone. He saw my pics. He has already sent my pics to him. He looked at my face. He saw everything was his. He now said I should follow him. So I now followed him to his own car. The persons that we were coming together, we had to leave them there and we enter his own car and zoom off. In my mind, I was like, oh boy, see connection. And this come man, I had the like, see, after this stuff. So we left those guys and we just zoom into Sokoto. So when we go to Sokoto, he has to say we should sleep to pass through the border to get to Niger. So from Sokoto, we slept that night. The next morning, we continued the journey to Yemen. So when we get to Yemen, they welcomed us. They asked us where are we going to. Me, I like Germany right from day one. And then I said, Germany, Germany is very far. You need to go and rest, go and sleep, eat, rest, because Germany is far so that you can have more strength to continue the journey. And I said, okay. So I actually went to relax. I slept, I ate, they gave me macaroni. I ate, I slept, I woke up the next morning. And they now said that 300,000 naira that I paid 3 days ago has expired. That I had to pay on that money that would take me from that Yemen to Germany. I said, okay, how much is the money? I still have 200K extra that I saved. So I brought out, now said the money was 150,000 Nigerian money. So I brought out 150K I gave to them because the journey was moving very, very fast. So that money took me from Yemen to a place called Agadez. So from Yemen to Agadez was 17 hours non-stop. So when we got to Agadez, we rested again. They asked me, where am I going to? I said, Germany, because we have very many in that luxurious bus. So I said I was going to Germany. I was like, Germany, Germany is very far. You need to go and sleep, eat, rest, and prepare for the next day. So I went to eat, relax. I was even calling the guy on video call that, sir, we are moving. This is where we are, like that, trying to give him update. And the next morning in Agadez, they now said the 150K that I paid yesterday was also expired. I have to pay on that money that will take me from Agadez to Germany. So the thing is, nobody tells you that the money you are paying is taking you to the next transit. Oh. So they are just collecting that money, lying to you that, okay, this is going to take you to your end place where you are actually going to. So that money, I was only left 50,000 naira. I was eating from that 50K, and what was remaining was like 20K. So they now said I need to enter. Then I was using a BlackBerry Z10. So BlackBerry Z10 was just like iPhone 11 here, there in Niger. So I gave them the BlackBerry Z10 then, and the remaining balance remaining with me. So they asked me to enter the Elox. So when we entered the Elox, we were 19 inside the Elox, the police Elox van. So they were just throwing wood stick for us to hold. I didn't know the reason why they were giving us the stick. So I had my own. So they now ask us to enter the Elos via the Sahara Desert. So that Elos, you put it in between your legs on the Elos. So that's your lifesaver. So as the vehicle moves in the desert, right, whoever drops down, the vehicle does not wait. So if the stick breaks, you can fall through that process, and the vehicle does not wait. Okay, nice. So, but then where we're going from that Agadez, they told us to get biscuits, kuli, gari, and water. But my instinct didn't actually tell me that somebody that is going to Germany, do you have to go with kuli, gari, and biscuit? And my mind was just that I was going. So I didn't know that the desert has rules and regulations. You can't eat heavy food. You won't get food there. It's going to take you long days for you to pass through the Sahara Desert. So it was when we got to the desert, I now know that this kuli and the biscuit were very, very, very important. And 2 days in the desert, the kuli, the biscuit, the glucose, the milk was already exhausted. The water is already exhausted, and we were there. So we had to turn it to marathon fasting and prayer just to pass. So inside the desert, we were not seeing a lot of stores like people who died, who their vehicle got spoiled,
Wait,
who
people died.
yeah, some people that their stick that they gave to them broke and they fell from the vehicle. So the vehicle won't wait. So they were there stranded because the desert does not have a particular route, a route that you have to pass. It's just a route on its own. So you don't know where you pass in, you don't know where you pass out. You just be roaming around, hoping to see somebody that will take you. But being that it's not a route that people normally pass often, so somebody will just be there. When you stay and nobody comes after a month, the person might just die because it is very, very hot. And we saw some skeleton of persons who have died. We saw some persons who were still breathing, but we cannot help them because our vehicle was already filled up. There's no way we could put them in our own vehicles, and some of them, their food got exhausted and there was nothing to eat, and they just had the only thing you have to do is to die. And it was very cold. The weather there was cold. During the day, the weather will be very hot and the sun will be cold. When I mean cold, I'm talking about cool room standard. And during the night, that same sun that is cold will be very hot and the weather will be cold. So it was a mixed experience for us. So the fourth day in the desert, there was no water, there was no food, so we had to drink urine of ourselves. So you have to beg somebody to drink the person's urine because you can actually not drink your own urine, right? So the person can decide to say, okay, like this today, now me, I know they piss because I go piss later in the evening. And you have to wait for that person to urinate before you put something because your throat will be very dried. You'll be very dried and you'll be looking for what to take to just to sustain yourself. Well, so God helped us, and on the fifth day, we were able to leave the Sahara Desert to a city called Gatron in Libya. So when we go to Libya in the Gatron, and they still welcome us, welcome, oh, as people in Nigeria, say, fine, where are you people going to? So we are going to Germany. Oh, Germany. Okay, because Libya you are going to is very far. They need to move us to a nearer city where we can enter boats. So then I didn't even research about Libya, honestly. And the next day, they had to move us to a city called Sabah. And when we go to Sabah, that was where the whole story now started. All these ones were just the introductions of the suffering that we actually passed through in Libya. And when we go to Sabah, they took us to a place called Ali and Abbas Ghetto. When we got there, they welcomed us with a very, very loud voice like, welcome to Ajazera, a land of no mercy. So that you pay your money or you die. So I didn't actually understand this slang or this slogan. I just, okay, we've been here now. Let's just move. So the following morning, they wake all of us that came that morning. No, before that following morning, they announced they were asking, where are you from? Say from Nigeria. So from that Gatron, they mixed us with other countries like Sudanese, like other Chad and other Niger. So when we enter, they will not ask you, Nigerian people, where are you? So raise up around like Nigeria. Oh wow, I want to be by you, you know. They now say, which state are you from in Nigeria? I was like, Edo State. Okay, Edo. They were just like, Edo, okay, see your people there. They'll just carry me to go and meet my state people. And I saw like over 3,200 Nigerians there.
Wow.
And my own state was like 700. Yes, Edo State, I was there. And that 700 was like, when I saw those 700s, I was feeling for them because they've been there. In Nigeria, they call them kidnap, right? There we call them tranquil. They've been tranquil there, and no food, no water. They will force them to call their family here in Nigeria to bring money for them. And when the family here did not bring that money, they will start maltreating them over that side. So some of them are not even looking okay. Some of them are already sick. Some of them, they've already run mad. Some of them died. They are still in that same big hall, like a warehouse, where all of us were. So Me, I was just praying to God. God, I didn't tell anybody. Just
So
help
your
me.
parents didn't know where you were.
They didn't know.
Nobody knew where you were.
They didn't know. Then my dad was, as a pastor, was a spiritual. He was not asking my sister, where is your younger brother? He said, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. My dad was like, okay, no problem. So after that first day, the second day, they now welcomed all of us that you're welcome. They took us like a tour around the building. They were showing us bloods of people who tried to escape from that warehouse, trying to put fear in us that if you try to escape, that they are going to shoot us. So you were like, this blood is for somebody that was trying to escape 3 weeks ago. We shot the person and the person died. So trying to put that fear in us that we should not try to escape. And they said we are going to pay 3,000 dinars to bail us. 3,000 dinars is like Nigerian 300,000 naira to bail us. So at that point, I had no choice to now say, let me call dad. So they will now ask you, who do you want to call? Do you want to call your mom or you want to call your dad? So I said, I want to call my dad. They were like, no, my dad will have a strong heart, that men normally have a strong heart, that they prefer us calling our mom or our sisters, that they will be the ones to bring the money. So, and I said, my mom had challenge with her head. If I call her in this scenario, she might drop dead. So let me just call my dad. And when I called my dad,
Wait, before you tell us about when you called your dad, what was going through your mind at this time?
my mind was, I was like I said, I was the daddy's boy. I've not seen that ghetto life before. I've not seen torture. This torture I'm saying is that you wake up in the morning, they ask you to put your clothes, you lie down on the ground without no clothes in your body, you face your leg up. They will now call your family members. Immediately the person picks the call, right? They will be beating you at that place. So the person that you are calling will be hearing the voice on the background that they are actually maltreating you here. So the person will now look for the way to get the money and send to them. So as at that time, I was not even myself. I was shaking. I was crying. I don't even know what to do. I had many feelings. My brains was just shut down. I don't even know what to do. And to what's the case? When I finally called dad, my dad just spoiled the whole show like, hey, they don't come again. No, you people are calling me. I'm so disappointed that the Jerry that he knows, which is his son, is in Nigeria. Libya. No, my son cannot try that. So my dad just hung up the call. So that was when the thing was now open that okay, I was actually in a big shit. And lucky me, they gave me a second lifeline. Who can you call again? Now they now warn me that so we don't fake your papa or your papa say you dey Nigeria. So if you call this one, work, we will cut your neck. Oh. And I said, okay, let me call my sister. So I had to pray. I just spoke in tongues for like 3 to 4 minutes on my own spiritual mind. I said, God, just let this auntie pick so that I will not go through this. Right there, they were shocking people with electric in my front. They will tie people in the ceiling fan. They will on the ceiling fan. So when someone will be moving, they will be flogging them. So I was seeing different set of matches. I was like, God, just help me. So after I built in my spirit mind, I had to call my sis. And my sis just said, cut, I will call you. And I actually hung up the call and she now called. So they didn't beat me. And she said, what's the problem? And I explained, this was the movement from transit to transit. But I was shocked when we got here. This was what these people said. We entered the wrong connection. And the guy has been bringing us all this while. And I didn't know what to do. He said you have to pay 3,000 dinars. And trust me, my sister had that money. She answered, okay, don't worry. I will speak to my husband. Whatever he can raise, I will definitely get back to you this evening. I said, auntie, please. They are cutting people's neck here. They are beating people's neck. They are doing this. Just help me. I said, oh, don't worry. So, lucky me, he didn't call that night. The following morning, she called and was asking after me. She was not asking how to pay the money. So they now said, don't worry, that they are going to send the money. They will send her the account where to pay the money. But they now lied to my sis that they were not the one that was beating me, that they were just good Nigerians that they were passing. And they had me crying that, oh God, help me, my father, help me, that they now came. That it was an Arab man that was actually maltreating me, not them, that they just want to help. And my sister believed them because they were the one with the phone talking to her. And it was when I came and I now told my sister that those guys that were talking to you that day were actually the one maltreating me, not the
And they were
Arab man.
Nigerians.
Nigeria. They were even Edo State like me. So that was the story.
So how were you able to escape?
So I had to pay the 300,000 naira they asked me to pay. My sister helped me in transferring the money after she talked to the husband and some of her money in her account. She just gathered everything and she was able to pay the money the next, I think the 2 days after. And they had to let me go. So I now said I was not going with any other burger. I used to call them burger agent again. And I had to say, okay, let me work in Libya and see if I can continue my own. Because then I was not looking for how am I going to make, I don't want to come back home again telling them I need money. Because I know when I left the house, I didn't tell them. And they didn't keep money that, okay, in case Jerry go astray in this journey, okay, we'll help him. So, and I said, okay. So while they left me that day, I saw somebody. They just said, oh, bros, how far now? I just like you. I don't know. My spirit just moves with you. He is a burger too. And his name is Ahmed. And he was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to help you. I know that you've actually gone through a lot. That this is how Libya is. So the people will just take advantage of people and they will just make them. And he was pretending to me that he's feeling what I was going through. So he actually took me to his house. He bought rice, bought rakome, brought banku. That's the food we eat there. And he now said, "Don't, I should not worry that from here, he's going to make sure that he will help me." So he actually helped me for like a month and two. I was in his house. I was scared to go out. I didn't have papers. I didn't have the kama, the pataka that they are using. They stay there. So he was saying that he's going to help us to cross because we're actually going to Germany, not like we are going to Libya. And 2 months after we stayed in the place, he had to help us to make good connections that took us via to Tripoli, from Tripoli to Suprata, where we boarded the Balu Balu going to Italy.
So you went to Italy.
Yeah, so after 2 months, he had to transit us from Sabah to Tripoli, from Tripoli to Suprata 1. From Suprata 1, we met with the fisherman that was driving the boat. So it took us to a camp where we saw another Nigerian. Now, if we now have them in large quantity, because we have some of them we are stranded in that Soprata one that we wanted to cross to Italy. So what happens is that everybody's waiting for weather. Me, I didn't know then that there is what we call weather in the sea. That because we are actually not going with a speedboat or a normal boat, we are going through a balloon boat. I didn't know that it's what we call weather in the sea, that we had to wait for that weather. So the weather comes once every 14 days. 2 days off, like 14 days, we have 2 extra days that you can buy. So that 48 hours is when you are going to use to pass through the sea. And when we are trying to get to the sea, they told us to pull off our jeans. We are not permitted to wear jeans. We are only permitted to wear our native trouser that does not have anything pinned on it. And they told us not to pray. If you know you're a pastor, you're not permitted to pray here. This is not a church. This is the headquarters of principalities and powers of water. So we just have to declare the word of the Lord if you know it. And that's it. So we enter the boat. I don't know how to swim, funny enough. I can, if you just throw me inside the water, I'm confirming dry land immediately. So right in the sea, the boat was not leaking. And this boat is just, what do you call it? It's just this canopy that we use for our event here in Nigeria. So they will sew that canopy, put air and gas in it. Then it would just be floating towards the other end.
And how many people were on the boat?
We were 119 on the boat.
And how big was the boat?
The boat was, let's say 5 by 8 feet. And we sit down around the boat. We sit down on it, and the boat will just be flowing towards that Mediterranean Sea, towards Italy. So they've told us what to watch out for in terms of the sea, and the borders. They see the borders between Libya and Tunis and Malta to Italy, where we are going to. So, in calculated radius, they've already told us this is going to be like 3 hours or 5 hours if you miss your route, because there's not even route on the sea. You're just moving on the GPS and all that. So, the experience was tough.
And the boat was leaking.
Yes, the boat was leaking, and one side was just bad, and the persons on the other side just dropped inside the water. And the Navy people came to rescue the boat. So they now rescued us to dry land to a place called Zuara in Libya. And after we've driven for like 3 hours, and we should even approaching the Blue Sea, because here in Africa is the Black Sea, towards Europe is the Blue Sea. So we are seeing the Blue Sea ahead of us, and they now rescued us because of that boat was already leaking. There's no way we could get to the rescue on the sea. So they had to bring us to the dry land. And when we got to the dry land, they rescued both the ones that are dead and some of us who God gave grace to still be alive. So when we saw the persons we entered boat together, we were not crying for them. So, and they now ask us, since they are your brothers, that we should go and bury them by the seaside. So when we got there to carry them, when we heard some of their, like when I heard one of their hands, the hand just pull off because the water was a salty water, and between that, it happens around between 3 and 6 in the morning. It was something else. Some of them did not even come out with their eyes, with their nose, with the ears. Within that hour, the fishes in the sea have taken off the eyes, the everything like that. So when I saw that, I was like, hey, so if I have died in this water now, this is how I'm going to end my life. And you actually do not want it. So
Wow. So after all of this, how did you finally get back to
from
Nigeria?
from that sea, they now took us to a UN camp where we were under UN, United Nations, and they now asked us, do we want to continue the journey or we want to go back home? So it was a voluntary return to come back to our country. Since during then when we got to Libya, there was no government, they were fighting, we could not move. We could not go back. There's no way we could go. So they volunteered that, okay, if you want to go back to your country, they could assist us to go back. And so they did. They helped all of us that were remaining and other people that we met in the detention camp. They brought all of us back to Nigeria.
Yeah. So you chose to come back.
Yeah, I chose to come back because my people say if you are going to a place and you lose your address, at least where you are coming from, you do not miss the address, you can actually go back. So I chose coming back alive.
Yes. So how long did it take you to reconnect with your family again? And what was that reunion like?
So in Libya, I had to now stay for extra 9 months before I was able to reconnect back to my family. So during the time I was taken from that Zuara to the UN detention camp, it was 9 months. I was unable to call my family. I could not reach out to them because they didn't give us phone. In Libya, we call it Gawad. So they Gawad all of us there, and all of us were just praying to God when they will come. Funny enough, other countries, once they catch them, they will take them back to their country immediately in less than 2 weeks. But our own ambassador was not, and the Nigerian ambassador was not in Libya, even though the office was there. As at then, he was staying in Malta, and we could not reach out to him. So we had problem of our own government coming to rescue our own citizens. So that's why we had to stay that long. And even if they are coming, when they come to where we are at Mistrata, they don't have the I don't know how to say the word now. It's like they don't give them audience when they come because they know that these persons are actually doing business with their citizens. So they prefer those who are doing the exact jobs, like the Egyptians, like the Sudanese, the Eritrea, the Niger. Once they get in there in less than 2 weeks, they would take them back to their country. But our own ambassador was not forthcoming. He was not even showing up. And we had to stay for 9 months before he didn't even show up. we had to send messages from when we had issue. We now have opportunity for somebody to come in to come and work. There are some persons who are rich. They will just come there to come and pick some of us to go and work. So when we went out to go and work, I now begged them to use their phone to send a message. Then I remembered great memory Bishop TB Joshua that he normally welcomes. So I had to send a message on WhatsApp, call their customer. I checked it online and I sent a message to him, to that number, and that we are many here in Libya. Please, can you come for our rescue? Blah, blah, blah. They didn't respond, but later they now called that they are looking for somebody called Jerry, and they helped. My dad too helped. Some other persons that we know we had to stuff, but then here we are today.
Here we are today. That's an amazing story. I mean, we're living in a society we're living in a country that's difficult, and there are still a lot of people that want to jackpot. But I mean, it was your customer that came to you and told you these things. Looking back now, what were some of the red flags, like the warning signs that, you should have paid attention to, or somebody else in a similar situation should pay attention to?
Okay, some of the red flag that I didn't pay attention to was, number one, I didn't pay attention that I was not having an international passport. Although he gave me an international passport, but it was not the authentic international passport. It was the Oluwole one, right? So many persons who want to travel, they'll tell them, don't worry, I'm going to help you get there. They won't get an international passport. They won't get a yellow fever card. They won't have a visa. They don't even know the kind of visa to get. Some persons might be going for a trip, might be going to say, I want to jackpotting with a tourist visa. I don't know how possible that is. Some people say you want to go to school and you have a tourist visa to go to school. Some people, I don't know. So there were a lot of red flags that I didn't pay attention to. Some attentions I didn't pay. When I got to the trial, some people were saying, okay, if you bring one person along with you, right, you're not going to pay the same amount. I'm going to give you a discount. Instead of you to pay maybe like 300,000, you end up paying like 100,000 because you brought somebody, right? So there are a lot of red flags that were available. Some red flags were because some families were not supportive enough, right? And I just feel, okay, let me be the first person that will travel from the family. So that I can support my family. Another red flag is don't tell anybody. Because if you tell somebody will not become the story. But knowing that if a rich man wants to travel today, like you, Simi, want to travel, you can say, okay, I'm traveling in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to Canada, I'm going to Spain, I'm going to, but why is it that somebody wants to tell you to travel, tell you don't tell anybody? So those are red flags that one should watch out for so that they won't fall victim.
What was it like for you coming back to Nigeria and trying to come back into society? How welcomed were you in society?
So when I came back to the society, truth be told, the society didn't actually welcome me. No. Because I remember I went to look for a job and the person said, I can't employ you because you went to Libya.
Really?
So I was like, why?
So not because you did anything.
Not because I did anything, but he just asked, for the past 2 years, what have you been doing? I said, I have not been around, I traveled. It was like, travel to where? I said Libya. It was like, Libya. No, I don't want any Libyan persons in my fame. I was like, what happened? Did I offend you before? Have we seen me before? That I traveled. I didn't keep. I travel now. No keep person now. All this kind of stuff. But thank God for my family. When I went home that day, I was so bitter that I told my auntie, I said, look at what somebody told me. And she said, don't worry. That business, you can even have his business. I was like, really? So the thing boosted my morals again. Like, okay, if one person says no, another person can say yes. So I keep searching before I got to a better place where I was working.
Where did you get?
I don't want to do this.
Okay. But I mean, since then, you've been able to do so many impactful things. So one of the projects that you worked on was the Migrant as Messenger project.
Yeah.
So tell us about that project.
Okay, so Migrant as Messengers project is a peer-to-peer mentoring project where we use our story to tell people the dangers of irregular migration and human trafficking, and also advise them on the right migration pathway. So many people do not know the right way to travel. So many people do not know the right office to go to. So many people don't know that these things you have them on your phone. It's something you just Google and check if this is right. It's just like, okay, somebody, there was a day I was in Ikeja on that bridge, I was doing sensitization. I saw a bus of 16 persons, all females. It was a red flag for me. I was like, where are people going to? They said, somebody said they should wait for them here. They are traveling somewhere. I was like, traveling somewhere to where? Said they are going to Kano. I was like, Kano, wow. When you mentioned Kano, I was interested. Why? Because that is also a route that you can pass to Libya. So, and I said, I don't know what you are going to do in Kano. But my mind tells me that you people are traveling out to go and work, right? See, one said, yes, we are actually traveling out to go and work. I said, okay. I said, but where's your international passport? They don't even have. He said, the person, okay, which work did the person promise you? He said, the person promised them hotel jobs and nurse to be a cleaner job. I said, oh, cleaner job, that's nice. But then, don't you think you need to have an international passport? He said, no, they don't know. The person told them that they don't need international passport, that is going to make sure that they are okay. Okay, how much the person says is going to pay? He says he's going to pay $400. Oh, wow. So, and I started talking to them. Okay, these are the things you need to watch out for. These are the things you need to do. You need to get your international passport. You need to have your visa. Where are you going to? Do you have a reservation there? What are you going there for? Are you going for schooling? Are you going for work? Are you going for tour? You need to be aware of all these things. One of the lady now said that she prayed to her God that night that this journey that she's going to, if it's true, that God should send a messenger to tell her. But if it's not true, that God should also send a messenger to tell her. But that day, God, it happens to be that I was a messenger that God used to send her, and the lady did not go. So we now exchange contacts. Some of them, like 10 of them or 9 of them, actually followed the guy. The other persons, the 6 of them did not follow. And to cut the long story short, they catch them in Duruku, taking them to Libya, and they brought them back. And I was still the one that still canceled them when they came back. And some of them, when I met them at the transit center in Igondo, some of them were like, sir, I want to tell you. I said, tell me. You're the one that was talking to us so time in Ikeja. I said, really? I didn't know because people were many. It was like, that our friend is not doing well, but look at us today. I said, I didn't know, but I said it. I said, you people should not go, but look and see. So the Migrant and Messenger project is a very good project that affected so many lives. We become a change engine in our community and the state at large.
And you're also working as a mental health and psychosocial support mentor.
Yeah.
I mean, even though you came back to Nigeria, society didn't accept you, you still had a support system, with your family members. They were very much there for you. But is that always the case for some of the people you come in touch with?
No, the reverse is always the case because some of like last week I went to mentor the ones that came last week from Libya because every week IOM, International Organization for Migration, still brings people on.
Every week.
Yeah, every week, sometimes twice in a week, twice in a month. And a lot of them, you see them crying, I don't want to go back home. Some of them, because of the way their family rejects them. Okay, I give an example. For example, a child of 16 years who is not even 18, or even an 18 years old child, the family is already demanding money from that child, saying, your mate are doing it, you too can do it. Now they've gone through the route, they are now exposed. They now know that the family is the reason why they fell into that trap because they pushed them into it, because they want them to bring money. They want them to train their younger one. Meanwhile, those children are those childs or those young adults. They are very very young. They cannot do what the parent is asking for them to do. So you discover that some of them are scared to go back home. Some of them are scared of friends because some of them, when the family rejected them, they went to stay with friends. And now the friend lured them because maybe they don't want to do what the friend asked them to do initially. Now that they've been to Libya, they've seen another side of life. They don't even want to go back to that life. Some of them, they are ashamed because when they were living, they were very fresh, hot babe and short babe. But now, The situation is very difficult on them, and they don't want to see, their family or their loved ones crying of them. Some of them, they were not pregnant. They didn't give birth to children when they left. But via the route, they were raped. And when they came back with baby without no father. So how do I take my child home? So the reverse is always tough.
So we as a society, as we wrap up, we as a society, what can we do to support people who've been in these circumstances?
Okay, so apart from the mental health, Jerry also has a foundation called Voice of Migrant Association, and it's a foundation that we are using to help our society. Truth be told, the government is not helping matter, but we as community, we can help ourselves, like community policing and helping each other to succeed. So Vuma is taking the responsibility of the government. It's not supposed to be our own, it's supposed to be the government. So schools, to markets, to communities, to town halls, telling people why they should travel the right way, why they should not travel the wrong way or the irregular way. Now, in this space, right, we the community need to accept these people. I tell you the truth. Anybody that has traveled from this country to Libya and come back, if you employ that person, in short, that person is even wide on his own. One, if you employ that person in your business, that person will do better because he has tried. He has seen all the hurdles. He will prefer to be here without no problem. So if you employ that person, for example, the person is going to give you 100%. I agree that everybody cannot be Jerry and everybody cannot be good, right? But then the community have a huge role. Let's welcome these people. Let's accept them. I will be glad to see a company today in Nigeria to say, I'm looking for returnees to employ. I'm looking for, because when they come back, they don't even know where to start from. They are confused. They are scared to try again. Because the family is already, the economy is not friendly. Okay, imagine somebody that left Nigeria 2 years ago, when bag of rice is still 17, 18,000, comes back to the country now without nothing. Some of them, doing their parents even died, their loved ones died, and they don't even have the family to fall back to. And now rice is 20, sorry, what am I saying? Rice is like 60 something bay. And the person is starting from where? Who is going to feed the person? So if that person is empowered, he will not find his aim in crime. Because the Libya scene is a crime scene, is a robbery scene, where everybody has gun in their hands. Just like the way you going out, you hold your handset, that's how they go out and they hold their own gun, right? So we see those stuffs. We are not used to it. So like now, for example, if you shoot gun here now, I might not even move where everybody will be shaking. I'll just be normal because what we've seen there is more than what we have here. Right. So those kind of persons, I believe if we engage them, right, they will become a better person, even better version of themselves because they've gone. If time permits, I can show you some videos that some persons were literally crying. Some people were even happy that, oh, thank God I can still come back home alive without no bullets in my body, without no fractures. And the community have a role to play. These persons are our brothers. They are our sisters. Trust me, and we won't regret employing any of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as Jerry here has been a beacon of light to so many people, so can we, in our own way, be beacons of light to other people who need it as well. So the way you've shown kindness, the way you've used your experience, for better, to help people, to help the country, to help people move forward, we also can do similar things in our own capacities as well. We can employ people, we can support people because they need our help, they need our support. Jerry, thank you so much for being here today. It's been so enlightening having you on the show. Your story is incredible, and I just have so much respect for you coming out here And despite the fact that humanity has shown you so much wickedness, you are still showing so much kindness to the world and to other people. And for that, like, we are truly honored and grateful to have you here to share your story.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, that's what God has given to us. We cannot pay evil with evil. We just have to pay good with evil because the rewarder is in heaven and He has given us the assignment. It's an assignment, and we have to fulfill it. Yeah. Since the government cannot fulfill it, maybe God make us to fulfill it. And someday, maybe the government will do the right thing. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Life on the Movement Pod with me, Simi Drey. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. And don't forget to like, to watch, to subscribe, and to share if you have enjoyed this episode. I'll catch you same time next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.